Hey everyone, how's it going? It's JC Frias, and I am up here in Utah in the mountains in Midway with my friend, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name's Shari, Sharanian, and JC and I have been friends for a little while on social media, so I'm excited that we actually get to meet today for the first time. Anyway, I am on social media as Notorious MBC. MBC is for Metastasized breast cancer, and that's one of the struggles that I'm dealing with these days. We're just going to have a chat today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here because we've known each other for a few years on social media. I know you reached out to me about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I just connected with you, and I'm super happy that we're actually doing this. And what's been crazy is just our conversations have it's like we've known each other, and I love how those things work out, and so thank you for having me in your home. So today we are going to talk about reframing and restructuring your mind, because listen, good things happen and bad things happen in our lives, and sometimes we think that good things should just happen, and when good things happen, nothing else bad is happening, but that's
doesn't work that way,
doesn't work that way, right?
Not at all.
Sometimes, most of the times, good things are happening, but also really crappy things are happening at the same time. And it's our job to reframe, restructure, and look at the positive. So when I say reframe or restructure, what comes into your mind around that?
I look at it like you have a choice. You have a choice to be down in the dumps, to be negative, which isn't a fun place to be. That's what I've learned. And over time, I've learned that I have a choice. I can switch how I'm feeling to a positive place. Mm-hmm. It's easier said than done at first, but then the more you practice that, the easier it gets.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because you can have something so daunting happening in your life. You can have something that is eating at you, and you can have no control over it.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
And so being able to control what you can control is key and vital to kind of like switching that mindset. I think that it's easy to gravitate towards the negativity. It's easy to think, oh my gosh, this is so crappy. This is ruining my life in this way. This is ruining my life in that way. This is affecting me like this. And we can really go down that rabbit hole and really get stuck there. And what happens that when you do that is that everything else around you, you kind of isolate yourself. And you start pushing those good things away from you because you're not ready to receive them. You're not putting yourself in a position to receive all the good that's around you, that's already there, because you're not seeing it.
Right. So what your mindset is what's going to show up. So if you're in a bad place and you choose to stay there, more bad things could quite possibly show up in your life. Mm-hmm. But if you switch it and you look at the positive of whatever the situation is, suddenly you're going to feel a whole lot better about it, and something good is going to come your way, and you're going to figure it out, what that is.
Yeah. What would you say would be some steps that you have taken to kind of reframe or restructure? What is something that you can say, hey, maybe this is one thing I know that I do, or I see myself going down that hole and I switch it because this is what I look at, or this is how I do it. What would you say?
Good question. I have that. People ask me that all the time. So when I decided I needed to change because I was getting feedback from other people that I was negative, and negative Nelly, don't want to be that. And somebody told me about Louise Hay, and I got one of her CDs and I put it in the car and I listened to it every day on the way to work, on the way home, and my husband did too. And she had a really great way of explaining it, of how you can change whatever it is in your life that you didn't like. whether it was your upbringing, whether you had parents that weren't supportive of you, or whatever it was. That doesn't make that person you. Just because they were that way doesn't, and they told you that you're this person because you don't like change. That's what my mom used to say. She doesn't like change. So she'd tell me I didn't like change. But the fact is, I like change. I like to always be growing. Anyway, so back to Louise. So we would listen to this over and over and over again. And we started to notice a difference, both my husband and I. And it took a while. But even to this day, if I go back down that hole and I don't feel like I'm able to get myself out, I will go back to what started it all, and I will listen to that again until it will raise my own mental set up to the place where I know it needs to be.
And what's crazy hearing you say that, well, two things I took from that. One, I think we carry a lot of baggage from our childhood. I think that's just a given, right?
For sure.
Because that's kind of where we have learned how to deal with different things. And that's the way we've learned. That was the environment we were in for so long. And so one, recognizing how you deal with things and the environment you were in as a child and how it has affected you today. So that's the one thing I took from that. And the second thing is listening to Louise Hay. I listen to a podcast every morning. It's a 10-minute podcast, and it's different speakers that come on. And that is one thing that I did that helped me switch. And it helps me because every day I listen to some sort of reaffirmation, some sort of motivation, some sort of positivity that I start my day with.
That's awesome.
And that has helped me reframe. So when I go throughout my day and something happens, it's kind of like I have already given my mind a little bit of fuel for the day. That part, that muscle, that positivity muscle, I've kind of fed it for the day. So when stuff starts to go sour or south, I can start going down the hole, and then I have to backtrack and like redirect myself.
It makes it easier to recognize when you're going that direction.
Yeah.
Because of what you've been listening to.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Isn't that kind of cool?
That's very cool.
Yeah, I love that.